Criminology is one of the new qualifications that we are offering from September 2023, and it is in essence a study of all aspects of crime, both domestically and internationally. Within criminology, you'll look at crime and punishment systems, you'll look at how crimes are punished in court, whether punishments are merited. You'll also look at the media's coverage of crime and how that affects public perceptions. Criminology is a really good subject because it lends itself to the study of other subjects, both in higher education, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, but it also taps into a lot of things that people are interested in watching, such as on television, such as the rise in popularity of true crime and how crime is investigated alongside the justice system as well. So criminology is a level 3 applied diploma. What that means is that it is an applied general course rather than an A-level, but unlike other applied general courses where you are often awarded a pass merit distinction star, in criminology it follows the traditional grades of A to E, and so you'll actually get a grade alongside this qualification, unlike with other applied general courses. As with other applied general courses, it carries exactly the same weight as A-level, so it is as valuable as an A-level in terms of UCAS points. So you're not getting penalised for the fact that it isn't an A-level. The exam board is EDUCAS, also known as WJEC or the Welsh board. The exam weighting is 50% exam and 50% non-exam assessment, or in this case for criminology, controlled assessment. The entry requirements are 5 GCSEs at grade 4+, so again this is a very accessible course and one that a wide range of students will be able to access if they get kind of the minimal entry requirements of 5 GCSEs and get that English and Maths. So it's a very accessible course that almost anyone can study. So as you can see from this slide, there are 4 different units and they are equally weighted at 25% each. With criminology, you've got that more traditional formation of 2 exams and 2 lots of controlled assessment. Unit 1 is called Changing Awareness of Crime. That's a controlled assessment. So unlike in non-exam or controlled assessments in other subjects, in criminology all of the assessment is done in school. So even though it is non-exam assessment, you wouldn't take it home. It's actually done electronically on computers and it's done in controlled conditions in school. That's the case for Unit 1 and Unit 3. So for Unit 1, that's kind of the starting point for criminology. It's where we look at different types of crime, we understand why some crimes are more commonly unreported, we look at campaigns, we look at the media, and we look at how crime is perceived generally in society. What that leads towards is the assess piece of planning and creating a campaign for change. And so you look at existing campaigns that have been done and you create your own campaign relating to a crime of your choice, which is targeted at a specific audience. So it's very much a more creative unit, but it's also learning about the fundamentals of crime and campaigns so that you can put together your own. Unit 2 is also completed in Year 1, but this is an exam which is an hour and 30 minutes, a relatively short exam for a level 3 qualification. Here you will use the knowledge that you built up from Unit 1 and you'll also look at some criminological theories and you'll examine how both of those things, so campaign and the media and theories, are used to investigate policy change and to investigate how they have an impact on crime and punishment, mainly in the UK. So you'll look at criminal theories such as biological, individualistic and sociological, so you can see there straight away the crossover with some other subjects like biology and sociology, etc. Unit 3 is completed in Year 2, it's the second part of the non-exam assessment, and here you will look at, it's called Crime Scene to Courtroom, and you'll look at examining the justice of verdicts in criminal cases. So you'll look at a number of case studies, you'll look at a number of example criminal cases, you'll draw your own conclusions from their outcomes, and you'll also analyse the processes of those investigations. So you'll look at the crimes themselves, you'll look at how those crimes are investigated, you'll look at the outcomes of those crimes, and you will discuss those in again, a controlled assessment environment. So that's done on computers again in a controlled environment within school, and you will talk about the cases that you've looked at essentially with focus questions. Unit 4 is the final exam unit, which is again 90 minutes, and here you will evaluate social control in policy and practice. So this is about developing a real deep understanding of the criminal justice system, mainly in England and Wales. We look at how punishment is used, why punishment is used, so what is the purpose of those punishments, and are the outcomes, do the outcomes show that those punishments work, what changes have been made to punishment for crimes, etc. You'll also look at agencies, so agencies like the Crown Prosecution Service, the police themselves, as well as other criminal agencies, to understand their role and how kind of they play a part in the whole crime and punishment system. So why is criminology a subject that you might consider in the sixth form? Well, first of all, as you've just seen, there's a range of different assessment types, so everything doesn't ride on one exam at the end, or 2 or 3 exams at the end of the course. And actually for some students that's something that they really favour, because they may not perform at their best in exams. There are some exam elements still, as you've seen, but actually 50% of this exam is under controlled assessment conditions, and there are some opportunities to sit those again if they don't go quite right. And so you've got a little bit more flexibility of assessment in criminology, and that's quite appealing to some students. It can support a lot of different pathways following your study of it as a subject. So typically, if students are going to university and they've gained an interest in criminology, they might go on to do a social science course at university, such as psychology, sociology, or even criminology itself, or elements of those courses intertwined. It also supports a number of careers in the criminal justice system, obviously, but also the way it gets you to think forensically, the way it gets you to think critically. It is a really good subject to have, because it develops a lot of different skills. So as I've just said, it develops those analytical and critical thinking skills, where we look at debates, we look at whether or not the criminal justice system is fair, why changes have been made, what our opinions are of it, and as well as us getting an understanding of the processes and impacts of crime and punishment, but also the public's perceptions and how our perceptions are shaped by the media, by external factors, and why we think about crime and punishment in the way that we do. As I said at the very beginning, criminology is a brand new course that we're offering here at Chesterfield, and it's one that initially has gained quite a lot of interest. It's a really good course, it's one that students find really interesting, and I think for some people who are potentially looking for a third subject to go along to maybe 2 that they're really sure that they want to do, criminology offers that really interesting accompaniment for them to take alongside those courses.